All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's Recap and Record, and we're doing Euphoria Season 3. This is Episode 5, titled This Little Piggy. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button on Instagram, like, thumbs up. You know what to do. Support the podcast. We're just talking for a few seconds before this episode, Los. How are you feeling about this episode overall in general?
Overall, yeah, I feel good about the episode. I'm not gonna lie though, like, because after I'm watching these episodes, though, I'm starting to ask those questions, like, but where are we going from here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like in this episode, there was a relationship that was forged in this episode that I felt like, damn, maybe we should have got this a couple episodes ago because,
Mm.
like, how much time do we really have? And like a lot of stuff happened, but like in terms of plot movement, not a
Yeah.
lot happened actually.
Well, and it would seem like we're messing with time a little bit here. I mean,
Yeah,
it was I
yeah.
think it's I think we're supposed to expect like a week to 2 to 3-ish between episodes. Is that I think that might
Okay,
be
okay,
accurate. I'm not
okay.
as I know I think they mentioned in the first 24 hours, I mean jumping just right into the episode, we started off knowing 24 hours after Lil Buddy they posted the video of last episode of her in the room with him. It was an instant 17,000 subscribers.
Dang.
So I mean, it's moving faster for her than maybe we're thinking. Um, but yeah, I think that's just a it's an interesting, you're right. Where are we going? It would have been maybe a little bit better if Maddie would have met Alamo maybe an episode or two
Yes.
ago. That would have
Yes.
kind of made a little more sense. But yeah, curious how that all ends up. We'll get to that here in a few minutes. But I think just jumping right in, man, we just kind of get a recut of last episode with the opening scene was the toe popping off for the second time.
Oh my
Uh
God.
just
That
just
was the
just
opening
seeing
wait up, time out.
uh-huh.
That was the opening scene?
The first one of this episode, yes. The very opening
Oh,
scene
you talking
was
about
a
her toes.
well, no, it was Nate's toe popping off his foot, and then it transitioned right into her putting her toe
Oh, and
in
we
his
but
mouth.
we didn't know what that was about to be
Exactly.
until
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
That was I ain't gonna we'll get to
Well,
that part, but that was too much for me, bro. I
yeah.
could I
A few toes, a very toe centric episode. The theme of this episode, but the secondary theme, I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, is Cassie. Very
yes.
focused on her this episode, and this kind of opening title card before we get the euphoria on the screen.
Yes, yes. Oh,
It's
yes.
pretty
And
much
so
her.
So
Go ahead.
so Monet was watching and she was like immediately, she was like, you need to let the podcast know that Beyonce did that first. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, oh, this whole little like, giant lady. I guess she did it on one of her in her concert. She did some
Okay.
like thing, whatever. And I was unfamiliar with that.
Me
Um
neither, but
eh,
was shout out
yeah,
to Mo for the
shout out to
background info. Yep.
Beyonce. Shout out
Yeah.
to she said no, this is still dope, but like yeah,
Yeah.
like but then when I actually watched the post episode, and I
Hmm.
never catch that. I never catch like
Yeah, we
like
watched it
where
for the first time too this week, actually.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
do they always show this or do
I
I
think
just
so.
cut it off? I feel
Yeah.
like because sometimes they don't. I feel like sometimes and so they were like, no, this obviously this is like a play on Godzilla or like the
Hmm.
big lady in the
Hmm.
crashing the buildings, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily no shade. It's not necessarily Beyonce's idea. Yeah, I
Of course. Yeah.
mean, it's
Yeah.
not. This thing has been around, but no, man, that scene was dope, bro. Like, and yo, I do think Sydney Sweeney's bad, bro. But like,
Listen,
I ain't gonna lie, this episode, bro, like
she's got her
she was
moments.
damn
Yeah.
near perfect, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like every inch of her, bro. Like,
Well, and I mean,
I'm not
just
even a toe guy, bro, my dude. Like, but
yeah,
like, bro,
yeah, yeah.
perfect.
I'm not into the feet thing either. I mean, obviously, if you have ugly feet, you're an ugly person. But at the end of the day, it's not a main factor. It's not a main factor of my attraction towards you. But it's just like, yeah, the giant Sydney Sweeney scene. I mean, it's the one everyone's talking about. I really enjoyed it. I
I
mean,
loved it. I loved it.
I thought the metaphor was great. I thought she, knowing she had fun doing it. And then, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I don't care who you are on this planet. I don't care what race or gender, however you identify. Seeing gigantic Sydney Sweeney beanies
Oh
in the
yes.
window of this in the
Yeah, I
window of the
forgot about
skyscraper,
that.
no one can complain about that. And if you are, we've got a major issue. Like, let's
Yeah,
just.
that was a lot. Yeah, so that was
Mm,
one of them things where it's like you really gotta like, if you do have small children, you gotta make sure like they really not in the room
yeah.
anytime because you do not know what's about to
Mm,
pop up on your screen.
mm,
And so that's the thing with Euphoria, what they've done a good job of. They like story aside, right?
yeah.
Visually, this show is amazing,
Yeah.
man. Like
Yeah. Mm,
it's still amazing to look at, you know what I
yep.
mean? And it is still fun. It's not, it's not what we are used to like
Mm-hmm.
recapping in terms
Mm-hmm.
of like
Mm-hmm.
deep story and because I feel like a lot of times in our Game of Thrones episodes and stuff
Hold
like
on,
that,
your mic just cut out.
they did.
I can't hear you. Good.
No, no, but just like in our Game of Thrones type of
Mm,
episodes, it feels like we get a chance to kind of like teach the audience and find the stuff that maybe the audience didn't find, like the general audience.
yeah.
This one is not that much, but it's
Right.
just still fun to watch
Yeah.
I really I still do like it, but yeah, story, we can nitpick all day, but
Right. Right. Yeah. I think
I
so.
still look forward to watching the show. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think with this episode, I mean, like I said before the call, I mean this I think was my favorite thus far, just because
Wow.
of the story and progression, the ending, the seriousness, and the continuous intertwining of the characters. I think that's just what we were missing from the first couple episodes of this season. It was
Yes.
everyone's separation.
Yeah,
And
everybody's
now
on the
that
island.
we've slowly brought them all back into the bubble, it's kind of becoming Euphoria again.
Yeah,
And so yeah, I mean this opening montage with the ending of the giant boobs was basically just us getting the perspective of Maddie and Cassie's relationship over the last few weeks. She goes from 17,000 to working her like a dog to getting her 50,000. I mean, this is OF, fam. I mean, this is what you have to do. This is the behind the scenes. This is real life. It's these girls that you and I know that we went to high school with who think that they can just start an OF page and their $5 to $10 a month is what's going to make them the millions. No, 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 no.
yeah, they don't
That's
put in no
just
work.
that's just to get into the club. And once
Yeah,
you're in the club, you got to start buying drinks, bottle service, and there has to be offerings there. So you got to sell your underwear, you got to sell farts in a jar, you got to
yeah,
do booby ASMR. I mean, this was for those who just don't know, this is what it is. Cassie falling asleep with the vibrator on the floor still going because that's how exhausted she is from making herself orgasm multiple times a day and doing all these customs and videos and underwear and jars and this and that. It's exhausting, but if you want 50,000 subscribers in order to send your piece of shit husband 30K every couple of weeks, well, then by God, you got to put the work in. It's just like
yeah.
any other industry, and this one's it's a little dirtier, but like, I
It's
mean,
dirty. Yeah,
yeah,
it was graphic. It was a
yep,
lot. I was like, dang, like, and I can imagine that it gets like that. But yeah, like you're saying, the local girl that this is the funny thing, like you saying, the local girl, what she does is she tries to use her current page
mm-hmm,
and thinking that she's gonna convert people
yep,
over. Oh, and like it's like you're weird for that. Like you're
yeah,
really weird for that.
yeah,
Like you post to, yeah, I mean, you just want to jump out there, brand new page, everything, and then like really sell it if you're gonna do it. But like,
mm-hmm.
yeah, these girls, it's weird. Like it's because it's tasteless to have your little advertisement next to your family photo.
Yeah,
It
well, and
doesn't
that's
make
and that's
sense.
what I think, and that's what I think this show's doing kind of a good job of is showing us that
Separation.
like is that like Rue and Nate and like there's no other guy character on the show who's like subscribed to Cassie's OnlyFans. It's very she's has an audience separate from like the
Yes.
cast members of the show. And that's like exactly what you were just saying. These the girl who promotes her OF on Facebook, that's a red flag right there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you need to make an Twitter account, X account, you need to block your friends, block your family, and then go. Like
Yeah.
there's no, that's really kind of the roadmap to it all. And the fact that, right, you and I know people, and especially just people out there in Hollywood in real life that are just like, oh, here's my link. By the way, here's my Mother's Day post with my son.
Yeah, and because and the thing is though, they would escape a lot. They would escape a lot of judgment if they did it the way that I guess like you're supposed to do it.
Yeah,
Because that's why people judge people that do
right.
stuff like this.
Yep.
Because like it's you're feeding it to everybody. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? As opposed to feeding it to the audience or to the
Yeah.
niche. Because yeah, like nobody has no business going to your whatever page and this and that if they're not really into it, you know what I
Right.
mean? But if it's the same if it's the same Facebook account that you've had since high school, yeah, we all got stuff to say about you, and we all think you're weird, and we think you're dirty, and we
Right.
think, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not really about that life for real, for real.
Yeah.
You just you grifting a little bit. You just jumping on the wave because
Mm-hmm.
you ain't got no other emotion for
Mm-hmm.
real in your life,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
you
we
know,
know that there's 4 or 5 grimy dudes that we also went to class with who are going to give her the $40 to $55 a month that she earns, and that's going to be good enough. And
yep.
it's
Yep,
just,
yeah, because she just wants to buy some weed. You know what I mean? Like
right,
you know what I
right.
mean? She just trying to get some smoke, or she just trying to, get her hair done or nails
That's
done,
stuff,
whatever,
right. Yep.
every couple weeks, whatever.
Yep.
Like you ain't trying to make no money for real.
Right. So we see kind of Maddie's plan come through, and of course, as we know, part of this promotion, you got to get on the podcast. It's 2026, so we see Cassie do these podcasts where she clearly has some scripted. This is like talking about men and society and how we're depressed or something. I wasn't catched on to that. Then we got a little political. She called she's she said the R word when they called her a Democrat. I mean,
Yes,
it was a
yes, yes.
very interesting little sequence there. Like, I believe the one line everyone's bringing up is Cassie says if a man would come out today and say he wants his wife to cook and clean for him, it's basically him shouting the N word. And which we have a shout out to Trisha Paytas. She is an influencer I do know. She was one of the podcast interviewers of Sydney Sweeney there. For a brief moment, Trisha
Oh,
Paytas has
nice.
dipped her toes into every single. She represents Arby's. She just today Benihana, yesterday Euphoria, tomorrow she'll be a chicken nugget. So she's just one of those people who've been on the internet for years. But so this did you? I mean, I didn't really get anything from the podcast scene. I mean, just obviously more and more promotion, just working her to the bone and getting her out
Yeah,
as much
she
as
was definitely
possible.
yeah, she was definitely like pro male, and I was wondering how much are they trying to like, just kind of get into like that red pill talking points and
Yeah.
stuff like that, which it was kind of adjacent, some of the trad wife stuff, but like she's
Hmm.
obviously the opposite of a trad wife. So
Right.
it is a weird juxtaposition because it's like she's very pro male, also very pro like woman in terms of like,
Just a bit to sell
body.
the page. Yeah.
Yeah, like sex positivity and whatever. But then this the little diss about the political parties, and it's like
Mhm.
so yeah, it was a little bit all over the place, and I think I didn't take offense to it, but I know that's I know there's definitely content creators and just viewers that that talk about this type of stuff on social media. They're probably like mincing all the words that
Right.
she said,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
I'm like, I was, I
Yeah.
thought they kind of played it safe though, because they did kind of go down the middle, zigzag every way. So
Would life be different for you personally, fam, if your girl could just sell you $35,000 on a Tuesday? Like, I mean, would that just does that put you, obviously Nate is in a happy state when that happens because that means he can just pay off his debt a little bit faster. But I mean, how does that, like, is there, I mean, hey, You know me, I've been having trying to get Megs to make a page for years just because I want to see what happens when she does it. And if
Yeah.
at the point in time she sends me $30,000, I'm gonna say thank you. I will clap for her and congratulate her and ask her how we can make it 60 and whatever I can do to help her do that, I'll do it. But I think there's just there's got to be some sort of mental weight on like the average kind of guy that like if your lady's the breadwinner, is that like a that's another kind of trope that we're messing with this episode.
Yes, yes. And you know what? When I thought about this, I was like, okay, all right. There's a distinction. There's different things that go on when you talk about this, right? So obviously, because on one end, on the far end, right, you could be pimping. Like this
Yeah,
could be considered pimping. You know what I
right.
mean? If
Yeah,
you got your woman out there, making your money, whatever.
basically is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but then you could kind of be simping, right? Like it because if you're doing a situation, like if you're in a situation where you don't really bring nothing to the table, and then your woman is the one that's the bringing everything to the table, and you just kind of agreeing with everything. I feel like there's a distinction between pimping and simping, right? You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
then like Nate went is going the whole other way, and he's turned into a cuck. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
right. So he's just at this point, Nate realizes there's nothing he can do. He had to fire the maid. The house is a mess. I'm not entirely sure why he's still in the damn house.
Bro,
And
I'm not staying there, bro. I'm
right.
not, I'm like,
So
come on,
weird.
man.
It's so
Like,
weird.
they could just find you, bro. Like,
Right. Right. And the other thing too about the whole Nate story this episode, I saw it was a really good point on Twitter. You have to remember last season, this is the guy who put a gun to Maddie's head just to get a DVD back. You're
yeah.
telling me there's dudes out there that are willing to cut off your limbs and you don't have a gun on
That's what I'm
you
saying. Like, you're
now?
not armed. You're not like why
Right.
they didn't disarm you forever, my dude. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Like, and your
yeah,
girl just sent, like, so we know in this episode total, she sent Nate like what, 65 grand in the beginning, he was 35, and I think another 30 towards the
yeah,
end.
yeah,
Like, dude, you could have bought a bazooka. You could have bought anything. You could have probably with that money hired someone to stay at the house with you as security for a month or something.
yeah,
Like for $65,000, the world is your oyster to the point where it shouldn't be that easy for one other man to come into your house and harm you. Like it's
yeah.
just it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not sure where his head's at. Was clearly
Just
in the
even just
clouds. Yeah.
that was that scene though was so absurd just because all
We
right,
could
they
just talk,
wrote
we could just talk about it now. So
yeah, yeah, they
basically, Nate's only contribution in this episode is we learn that he's fully on board because Cassie's making money and she's sending him a
yeah.
30 grand a pop every other week. And he didn't get it in time, I'm assuming. He was a day late or something along
Yep.
those lines. And Lil Buddy shows back up, busts the golf club through the window glass door, and boop, just daisy flowered the top pop off of Nate's toe and cut off
Bro,
his
just
finger.
just yeah,
Just
like get that
nothing.
out of here. And I said no.
Oh.
And then it was like he's like, give me the finger, give me the finger. And I said, come
Oh.
on, man.
Oh.
Like, come on, man. There gotta be a different way that we gotta
It's
go about
it's
this, bro.
and
Like,
just spoiler
like
alert.
how do you go to the hospital after you
Again
lost a
now, right?
toe?
I don't think he can. Can he? Like, yeah, that's crazy
Yeah,
talk.
like he's lost that finger because you ain't getting that reattached. Because yeah, how do
Mm,
you justify that? Like they're gonna want a
mm,
police report, man. Like what's
mm.
happening to you, bro?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. And spoiler alert, we see him get jumped again next episode, so it's probably another finger. Like,
that's what I'm
it's just
saying.
he's.
Like what you gotta know who you getting in bed with, man, before you
Mhm.
just start taking people's money. Like and that's what I'm like. He doesn't have an escape room. He doesn't have a safe room. He doesn't like this guy. Just like a look
Runs
like a
up to the
white girl, like a
bedroom and
white girl in a
starts.
horror movie, bro.
Right.
Like just walks in like into the normal place that you would go.
Yep.
He doesn't hide himself
Yep.
really. He's just like like he's like waiting. He's just waiting to be attacked, and then this guy just ripped off his toe again. And I'm
Now
like, oh,
listen, the only pushback I'll give on that is if listen, if a man was coming into my house to harm me in that kinds of sense, I don't own guns. I don't have I've never been in a fight.
Okay.
I boxed once on my senior trip in high school and got hit in the face. I fell to the ground. I just covered myself until it was over. I've never for me, I mean, that's probably what I would have done, getting to the highest point of the house, waiting in the corner and just doing my best to survive. So maybe, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, not to, put any, labels on myself, but I mean, Nate's just a little bit of a bitch, it's just
Mm.
he's just a little bitch of a white boy who probably has never been in a fight. I mean, he's beaten people up, but hey, from past we've seen, Fezco and just now this guy Nas he's dealing with, Nate gets his ass beat too. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, yeah.
It's questionable, but I mean that's pretty much all we see and hear from him this episode. I don't know if are we gonna get more character development from Nate this season? Is this pretty
Well,
much
that's
his
what I'm
whole
saying.
story?
He's like devolving, and later on when he's having that, yeah, when he does get the money the second time,
Yeah.
and he's just like talking. Yeah, was this before, like when he's talking to her and he's like walking her through what
Love
she
you,
should?
babe. Yes,
This
yes.
is after he lost his finger.
No, that was
Okay,
before because
okay,
because he
okay,
was because she sends him 30 grand. He
okay.
gives her the talk, and then she sends him another 35, and then he starts celebrating and dancing around because he got another payment, and then little buddy busts through the door.
Yeah. Oh my God,
So
this is crazy.
he's just, I think he's just an idiot, which is, and that's our, that's kind of Cassie's opening and Nate's ending. Um our next character of importance this episode is Alamo. We cut to him.
Mm.
And this is was did we RIP to our man? Is that what happened? Our boy Big Ed, who opened
Yeah.
this.
So who? Yeah, I don't remember him. Like, who is that guy?
I thought it was the guy from the
No,
show.
I'm talking about. All right, so when Bishop had that guy and he's about to start chop, like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
That was a light skinned dude, bro. That was not
Okay.
Kadeem Hardison.
Okay. Because I wasn't sure who it was, but then when they said Big Ed opened the safe to let the robbers take the money, I thought that was him. Like, because he
Yeah,
opened the
no,
safe.
see,
So
that's what I'm saying. Like when I looked at, because I was like, yo, because we could not figure out who
who
that
that
was in
was?
the
Yeah.
shower or whatever. Because I'm like, wait up, that was like some big light skinned dude with blood on his face.
Uh-huh.
That wasn't Casey Undercover's dad. You know what I'm
We could,
saying? Like
okay.
with
And that's what I thought, but we
I think
couldn't figure it out.
yeah, because they made it seem like he just quit, he's a bitch, whatever. But like,
Okay.
yeah, something else was happening to
I'm gonna figure
where,
that out once
yeah, we
we're,
gotta figure, yeah,
yeah.
we gotta get to the bottom of that.
But
But I don't think it was
basically,
him though.
Bishop cuts that guy up in the shower and then feeds him to
I
the
think he
pigs.
fed
The
him to the
MO.
pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
MO.
yeah.
So basically, he's talking to Rue. He's like, you recognize the girl. He's like, you lived at Lori's house. I need you to draw me a map. We need to know where we're going. We need to know where the rooms are. If we're attacking this bitch, I need an inside man, which is you. Um, so it's a and in that moment, Alamo's like getting dressed with his tailor, and his tailor
Yeah,
grabs the wrong pants. And in a moment where you think like he might kill him, or it's this intense because he's already worked up, he's spiraling.
yeah.
He's losing control. His girls are dying. He's got a mole on the inside. He's not sure who, and it's kind of just this weird scene with him in the tailor, which I
Well,
thought
well,
was
we're starting to see that a lot though. Like, so as much as, yeah, and that's good to point out that, like, maybe he feels his world is falling around him, but like
Mhm.
Alamo, for as tough as he is, as scary as he might appear to be, as confident as he should be, this is one of the most insecure men I've ever seen in my life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you cannot, like, any insult, he gets inside of his head and he's thinking of it. And again, yeah, they picked out the wrong clothes. So like he's like, oh, like, so everything is like this bigger mental, like, hurdle that he has to get through.
Yeah.
Like, are you trying to say this is what I look like? Are you
Yeah.
trying, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, this guy is like he's really a small man, even though like he presents all this toughness, and I'm like, dang, I
Yeah.
like this guy. And I'm like, nah, I'm tired of this guy. and he doesn't redeem himself until later on in the episode. But yeah, I was like, where I'm like, yeah, this is not somebody I would want to work for, man. Because
Yeah, a lot of people are saying Adewale is kind of carrying this season. He's kind of his actor and his character are just kind of obviously he's the big bad, but he
yes,
seems to be everyone's favorite. So that cuts that scene, and then we go back to Maddie real quick, and we just kind of get the reveal here that we kind of all knew of this fake it till you make it, everyone's lying to each other type of situation. Maddie's not a real manager, and Cassie kind of got
at all.
hits at the party, and Maddie's just kind of doing what she thinks she should be doing now. It's working, obviously, and it's seemingly will continue to work. But she's cleaning up shit while other people around her in the industry are making a fortune, especially with other OnlyFans girls and the people that she was once managing prior.
So yeah, and I guess this gets into the scene where I mean she meets up with Cassie, right? And
Yeah,
then like Cassie's about to like break the news to her. And so
yeah.
this is crazy because um like because at first I'm like oh okay, this is what her plan was the whole time, like she's about to rob Cassie blind, I mean, like, and because Cassie
Mm.
is just like panic, what I mean, like she's about to let her go as her quote
Hmm.
unquote
Yeah,
manager.
she's gonna join the Sway House basically with all
Yeah,
the other TikTokers and do the dances and just have someone else edit the content and live there. Yeah.
yeah. And then Maddie does her, this is her famous move. Let me fake a phone call real quick. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, I'm like, I'm tired of these fake phone calls. Y'all gonna have to put these phone calls on speakerphone. Like if I'm the
Oh, they've
people
done that twice now. You're right.
twice. Yeah,
Wow,
like you're not
another
about to
fake
get
phone
away with
call.
this two times and play in my face. Like I need you to put it on speakerphone. You know what I
Damn.
mean? Because she
Yeah.
was talking to no one.
Mm-hmm.
She was
Mm-hmm.
literally talking to no one,
Yep.
and
Yep.
and Cassie is just so vulnerable and so weak, what I mean, of a character, even though she has all this agency. She has all this stuff kind of going for her,
Yeah.
actually. She's the breadwinner, whatever, and she signed some contract under duress. And my problem with that is like, how many times we've seen like just TV shows and movies and documentaries and stories about bad contracts in the entertainment industry in general. And like we still have scenes where people possibly sign bad contracts without reading them, you know what I
It's
mean? Without
yeah,
like
yeah, it's that. Well, and I mean, but see that, and that's
it's
even with social media and TikTok and YouTube, that's even more common than today than it was with like the record labels. I mean, the 360 deals that some of these streamers and influencers sign is like you get 1%, we get 99, but we're allowed to put your face on a Popeyes meal without your permission if we want or whatever. And it's just like, oh, and by the way, we need you live streaming for 100 hours a week.
yeah.
Or we'll pull your contract and you'll be liable for this amount of money. Like yeah, and they didn't really touch on that. The fact that she's now signed two contracts. I don't know if that's might come back and bite her.
Yeah. How's that play out? You know
Because
what I
I
mean?
can't imagine it's easy to get out of the Sway House contract versus probably what I'm going to assume is also a very predatory contract from
Well, but
Maddie.
when she talked to Alamo, she said she's only getting 15% though.
Right, and why not 30? So,
But that's what I'm saying. So like I thought like this was she was signing a
mm,
contract that was like giving Maddie like 80%, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And she's
yeah,
only making
true.
20. And so like I don't think she would lie to Alamo in that instance, even though
Okay.
she don't know him. Like
Yeah.
she said, yeah, I'm giving 15%. And he's like, yeah,
It
why
would it
not
would
30?
behoove her to say more in that instance because then he
Yes.
would see her as a power player. Oh, you're getting 60. Oh, I
Yeah.
want 30 and not just 50. So I
Yes.
guess
Yes.
maybe not to lie in
So,
that
but
instance.
I think it's because she didn't actually have any paperwork at all on
Right.
Maddie. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but I was thinking I was like, wow, this was the end game. Like she's about to just, yeah, she put her in a 360 deal, but Maddie does not have the pull to even like hold that over her. You know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
mean, yeah, you could sue me, whatever, and you could try to take my future earnings, but like you can't. you can't even give me these new opportunities. You know what I mean? Like because she had to beg and try
Yeah,
to make
Lexi, yeah.
enemies with Lexi
Right.
just to get an audition to be some random person
Side
in a
character in the show. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Not even a recurring role, like just like one time, like
Yeah, and so we see that, right? The fake phone call to get her on what's LA Nights
LA
as a
Nights.
sub role with her sister, and she goes to the audition, and it's William Shakespeare. I so
I ain't
they
gonna lie, she killed that though.
they released this scene. Yeah, they released this scene early, and I
Yeah,
watched
and
the whole
I
thing.
didn't watch it though because I didn't understand. I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't understand it. I
And I
didn't watch it.
mean, interesting choice. Yeah, she killed it. I mean, when you can just if we knew that was live and her only take, it would have been a little more impressive, a TV show. But like, yeah, I mean, hey, she did what she needed to do. And it works. She uses her last name. She uses Howard just to get in with Lexi. She lies, says, "Oh yeah, Lexi, da, 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 we're best friends." And of course, it's just kind of that sister rivalry that obviously ends up in Cassie's favor. So we're gonna see her on the show. The other funny thing too is I didn't realize first time watching it, saw it on Twitter afterwards, when Lexi comes to Cassie's apartment to tell her or confront her, but also tell her the good news. She's stepping over like boxes of vibrators and all this stuff.
Yes, I did. I noticed that. Yes,
Cassie's in the
yes.
middle of packing up a fresh pack of underoos. And when Lexi tells her the good news, she hugs her. She has the underwear in her hand and then she grabs her face. So the thought, they don't address it, but just the thought that she's grabbing
Oh,
Lexi's face with her dirty underwear that like Lexi's already
mm,
disgusted by,
yeah,
is hilarious to me.
yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it was so weird though, because it's like it was cute. Like it was like there was like this cuteness of this scene,
in
whatever.
her
Even
outfit with the
yeah, and
boobs and
just
she's
her joy.
excited.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
seeing her joy
yeah.
and just being excited. And that's the thing though. So in that video that I did send you by this guy Chad Sin,
Mhm.
he makes a point of like the money that Maddie was talking about. But like but that's the thing though. As much as you could make on OnlyFans,
Yeah,
these people still want to get back into Hollywood though. You know what I
right.
mean?
That's the point.
Like that's just the launch. That's so you can self-sustain,
Yep.
so you don't have to be a struggling actor. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Whatever. Because the end goal is still to be in Hollywood, to still be in movies,
Yep.
to still be in TV shows. So yes, you might make all this seedy money doing this nasty stuff, whatever, but that's not the end goal. She way more excited about being on TV than
Yeah.
she is, you know what I
Yep.
mean, having 50,000 subscribers
Yep.
and probably making however much money a month. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like,
Yep. No,
so it
yeah.
was just interesting like that. But
This
like it was like I was happy for her and
yes.
like even though it was like, oh,
Very, very Cassie centric episode. Very lovable Sydney Sweeney this episode. Very yes, this was her. She was shining, I think, in this episode. And I saw an interview. She said that it's so funny that we all sit here and we're like, oh, Sam Levinston and his sexual fetishes, when in reality, it's all these actors and actresses that are feeding him the ideas. She said when
mm,
Sydney Sweeney said when she got the original script, she A, loved it, and B, would just do research, get on TikTok, get on OnlyFans, Twitter, whatever, and send him suggestions to make it nastier. And so
wow.
half of this level of nasty was Sydney's doing.
Wow.
So it's these I think it's a situation where probably a lot of these actors, I mean, let's be honest, in every single Sydney Sweeney movie, we see the jubes, but like at the end of the day, I think this is her being able to just like have a playground to take it one step further, and why not? What
Yeah.
creates viral moments? Shock and awe. And what's more shocking than skyscraper boobs and just and farts in a jar?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's this is I think it's just part of the reason why I enjoyed this episode. It just felt like Euphoria, to
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Rue and Jules,
Okay. Yeah, let's get there.
yeah, I mean, just in the apartment, Jules doing her best to look sexy laying on the floor eating Chinese food. I listen, I'm not, I will admit there are a few times during this season, Hunter Schafer, she's looked very attractive to me, but I was trying to find the sexy angle and whatever she was doing wasn't working in this moment.
It's just
And
annoying. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like after last, I ain't gonna lie. After last
yeah,
episode, I'm over her. Like I
yeah.
like what are you thinking? You don't have like you literally do nothing. Like you do
Hmm.
nothing. Like yeah, I don't know. And there's this weird dialogue with Rue. Like, well, what do you want? Well, then
Right.
kiss
Kiss
me. Well,
me.
then kiss me and kiss me, kiss me. And I'm like, shut up, shut up. I don't
Yeah.
want like no
Yeah.
yuck. Like
Yeah, and so right, they just go back and forth because rules, yeah, they call it rules. Rue and Jules.
oh yes, yes, yes.
Jules has this dominant kink. She wants Rue
Yep.
to kiss her and tell her to do things. She wants to be wrapped up in plastic wrap. So it
But like there's this dynamic that she's like missing, and it's
Rue
where
won't give her
I
that.
can respect Rue for
Yeah,
not wanting to like I you are my friend, so I'm gonna hang out with you in your little sugar daddy's like place,
yeah,
whatever. But like I respect Rue for not really jumping on her, you know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, but like I can't provide this for you. Like so we
right,
could fantasize and play this game all day and I could do this stuff to you, whatever. But like what do I get out of this? Because I
yeah,
can't live here. I can't stay with you. I got to
yeah,
go home back to my crazy life. You know what I mean? Where I don't even have a home. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, right.
so it's like, I respect like Rue's like drawing that line a little bit. You know what I mean? But like, Jules just like really just delusional like this whole season
Yep,
and that's what happens sometimes money man when you earn money for doing nothing you I think you start to lose sight of like reality bro
yeah,
like she's really making money doing nothing she's
yeah,
doing nothing to make this money you know what I
yeah.
mean and we could say that for like even OnlyFans people and all that whatever but like they actually gotta put themselves out there and do and I'm not saying she's not putting herself out there, but she's kind of like just in a relationship with this man, like a secret relationship. She's not like, you know, she's not with a bunch of different clients and like, you know what I mean? She's like, yeah. And we get this that weird dialogue with him and her. Yeah, I mean,
So yeah,
we
but
get
and
into
right
that.
before and just right seconds before that, it's
Oh,
that intense moment between Rue and Jules, and she's like, "Take me, then take me," and all of a sudden you hear cheeks clapping, and
yeah.
I thought we were finally gonna get to see Rue and Jules like that kind of fake out was a little. It got me. I didn't think it was gonna be him. I thought it was gonna be Rue and Jules in the bedroom.
But
Uh,
it speaks to why Rue is not doing it though.
yes,
You know what I mean?
yes,
Because it's like at the end of the day, he get the
yep.
clap, I'm not
Yep.
clapping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. Here's when, at what point, who's still putting their initials on their boxers? I've never done this in my life. I don't understand why it's a thing. Was it
but
a,
also yes, but also even if Rue is wearing boxers, right? Rudy
yeah,
Bennett is wearing boxers. Them boxers gotta be small as hell. I mean, because she's a small person.
yeah,
Like, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So like I don't know, like I get it. Like the article of clothing, you see that. And I
Mhm.
don't even know who's wearing boxers, like regular
And
boxers
when
anymore.
were they from? Because does that mean that they, Rue and Jules did hook up that day, or were those boxers from like the bath that they took a
Yeah.
few episodes ago after the wedding or before the wedding?
Yeah, but
So
when I pull up these and I see these juvenile size,
oh,
like
well, right. Yeah, that's yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm not even gonna think it's a dude. Like I'm gonna think like who the fuck? Like I am gonna question this, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Little boy boxer.
yeah, like what the fuck? Like I mean, just little juniors, and yeah, but then he has this like man, he has this weird conversation with her,
Well, it
and
wasn't weird. I think it was just honest. Like it
it
was
was
like, look,
honest, but
bitch,
it's weird because it's like, who are like, what are you talking about? Like you
true,
already putting your family in danger.
true.
All this honesty about like, bro, you already doing it though. Like who are you to like? Yeah, I mean, like I get it, you got the
Mm-hmm.
bread, whatever, but like you trying to be on this high horse and trying to
Mm-hmm.
be like you have morals and you have standards, whatever. But like, bro, you have a secret life with and you mess with a transgender, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's this weird high ground he put himself on. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, sure, it was yeah, he was telling the truth, but I was like, it freaked that conversation weirded me out. I was just like, oh, bro, like
Yeah,
he
so
was like, yeah, no,
we'll
don't.
see. I mean, it would I can't imagine Jules will have this relationship by the end of this season. It would seem
Yeah.
that's where we're going. Who knows kind of what her future holds
And that's what I'm saying. Like her character just doesn't really serve it any. When you really think about this story, it serves
now.
no
Yeah.
purpose. It
Well,
serves
and
no purpose in
it
this.
didn't serve a purpose when when she left on the train at the end of season 1 and then just randomly showed back at the end of season 2.
Yeah,
Her
yeah,
only job was telling her mom that she OD'd, that like I think you mentioned anyone could have done. So like Jules,
yeah.
yeah, Jules' story I felt like it should have been just season 1 maybe. I don't know. Yeah,
You know what? You know what? Now like the last episode when it was like the firing scene, like
mhm.
where like they couldn't fire her because yeah, I mean, are we telling like a real story of like we couldn't fire we can't fire Hunter Schafer because
Right.
we don't want to
Right. 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 Yeah.
like we got to let this show just like end on its own, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
is
it's
that why the show is ending?
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a good point. That's such a good point. That's a good point. So basically cutting back to, as we already talked about, and then after that is a scene where we see the toe get popped off again and Nate's finger we already covered.
That was worse than Saw, bro. Like they really showed
Mhm.
like cutting the finger, ripping the toe. I
The
was like, oh my
effortlessness of
god.
the toe just being popped off by that guy, it was just,
Yeah, it was
oh.
so like, oh my god.
Sucks. It sucks so bad. But then so we kind of get our kind of our ending of the episode here with when Magic gets back into her locker because Rue kind of forgot before the robbery went down last episode that she was trying to frame Magic in order to kind of cover her own tracks with the drugs in the locker. And I mean smart on Magic for just going straight to Alamo and be like, this isn't mine, this is hers. And then putting the plot in his head of like, well, wait a minute. She ID'd the girl in the car, but not them and their voices in the room. Like she lived with them. She should know
Yeah,
these people.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
putting those kind of two puzzle pieces together, which are smart. I wouldn't have thought anything of that on my own, much like I don't
yep,
think Alamo did. But just kind of, points for Magic. And then just kind of wrapping up her story ends up being one of Maddie's new girls at the end. So Magic's kind of coming now into the fold. I didn't expect
yes.
that to kind of be a new recurring character, but we'll see
Well,
how
yeah,
that
she's
turns
like,
out.
I guess in real life, like she's some type of like people know her. Her
Hmm.
name's like Rosalie or something like that. Like people like she's no, I don't know from what they know her from, whatever. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think she was, unbeknownst to us, she was primed to be like a bigger role. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah. So before Alamo then confronts Rue, we kind of get this answers to some things maybe between a conversation of Rue and Maddie.
Okay, yeah,
Rue's like, so things are good with Cassie? Like you don't feel any animosity towards her, your blood doesn't boil, what's your end game? And Maddie has, we've once again kind of sort of mentioned the Bible and religion, and Maddie is just bygones are bygones, whether the milkshake is good or terrible. I'm just here to live and be happy, is what we're supposed to is what we're supposed to believe that
yeah,
this whole time this whole time, and I said it last week, we're all trying to figure out what these chess moves are and how she's going to bring Cassie's world crumbling down. Do we believe her now that there's no malicious intent and maybe she's just because it's easy money to help her friend make 15%? I,
yeah,
I'm curious. I'm curious if the Jesus talk in the Bible and the you've got to forgive and forget kind of
yeah,
situation is going to stick.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it would just kind of seem that then between that conversation with Rue and the conversations we've seen Maddie have with Cassie, and then the kind of shift in conversation she then has with Alamo showing up, it seems like Cassie, or not Cassie, Maddie is, I would say, is just this gecko. of sorts. She
Yes.
knows how to talk to, she knows how to be the employee, cleaning up shit, talking to her boss, respecting her. Then she shifts her colors and she's in boss mode with Cassie. Then she shifts her colors and she's in this religious kind of friendship, best friend mode with Rue. And then she shifts her colors and now she's
She's an opportunist.
yeah,
She's a true opportunist, and we seen it from the first episode that she was featured in, where she took the opportunity, you know what I
mhm,
mean, and asserted herself. But yeah, like I think it's like it just speaks to like she doesn't have any talents though. Like she doesn't really do anything. Like you know what I
right.
mean either. You know what I mean, yeah, she
Yep.
has this like boss like mentality, whatever, but like she's not good at anything. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like she's not coming with the skills. And like I ain't gonna lie, when she does get introduced to Alamo, if she wasn't talking that money talk, I was like, oh, he about to, because he's like, yeah, why you keeping me from her? Like, and I'm thinking like, oh shit, he about to traffic her. Like, yeah, I mean, and then,
Oh,
like, I was like, yeah, that's why, yeah, Rue has not showed like Rue don't want you to know her friends
yeah,
because
yeah.
you ain't about to start trafficking my friends. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Well, and
But
Maddie showed him Cassie, so now he knows Cassie too.
yeah, so and then but like if she wouldn't have started talking heavy with that money talk, like then yeah, she was about to like, she has a little bit more, it seems like self like worth and
Yeah.
self-respect that she would have went out with a fight, but I mean, because she don't seem to be like influenced by drugs, nothing like that. Like she
No,
seemed
yeah, you're
like
right.
we haven't really seen her
Mhm.
dabble into nothing, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
True, true.
she
Yeah.
knows how to keep a level head, but
And
yeah, I thought it
so,
was over for her. I was like, oh shit,
but it's not because they
it's
took
not.
a ride to the strip club, and this is where we recruit Kitty and Magic. And so
Yep.
Kitty and Magic are going to be Maddie's two new girls for OnlyFans. She gets 15%, Alamo gets 15%, the girls get 70. Which I'm going to assume Alamo will probably do something slimy and reverse those numbers. Like he gets 70, the girls get 30, Maddie gets whatever 15. I don't know. Potentially, who knows? Just a guess, but it seems something tells me if Alamo's girls are making the same amount of money that Cassie is making on OnlyFans, 15% for him is not going to be enough. But who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah.
And in the previews for next week, we see Cassie making content with them. So she gets
And
introduced
we
to Alamo
see
too.
her like having to check, like she's trying to check Alamo about like the girls working, like and how
Mm-hmm.
much they're working, and he's just
Mm-hmm.
thinking like, well, like I don't know what you think this is, like, you know what I
Right.
mean, like yes,
They
I
need to be
got them working
here.
with you, but
Yeah.
these is my bitches, you know what
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
So that'll probably be some heads butted there
yeah, for
towards
sure.
next season. So and then like you had said, what were you saying? I think maybe before we hopped on in that conversation, big money talk there, Maddie throwing around some numbers, and I mean she's got the photos of Cassie on her phone to prove it. She's got the analytics to prove it. And then she
Hmm.
drops this bomb about how Hollywood made 8 billion and OnlyFans is sitting at 7. So it's
Yes.
basically this untapped market where anything is possible, and we're making just as much money as Brad Pitt and Angelina.
Yeah.
But uh,
But yeah, so I had to look that up because I seen this other content creator. He like used like what she said, and he was just talking about like the scene and what is that scene trying to tell us something about like just
mhm,
the industry and whatnot. So I looked it up because I was like, is that even real? Like, was she just pulling numbers out of her ass, whatever?
yep,
And then so when I looked it up, and so Hollywood did make $8 billion last year, whatever, right?
yep,
And then I looked, and then it tells you, but globally, the film industry made like $130 billion, whatever,
hmm,
globally. I mean, and with like 30 billion coming from like box office alone. So like the industry makes money, not just box office tickets.
yeah,
It's all this other stuff that they're
yeah,
making money from. You know what I mean? And then so then I was like, all right, man, is so I was like, all right, so she's kind of wrong there, whatever.
yeah,
And then I looked up the OnlyFans numbers
yeah,
and I wanted to see this number. So that number popped up, but that was a global number. So
Hmm.
that OnlyFans number of $7 billion,
Yep.
that's globally.
Yep.
So if you compare the global numbers of of the entertainment industry, well, film and movie or film and TV, we talking about 130 versus seven. That still is impressive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then we even seen domestically, OnlyFans did account for like still $2 billion
Two and a half. Yeah.
domestically
Yeah.
versus the 8 billion domestically, if we're talking about like Hollywood, so to speak. So yes, there is an untapped market, but then it's like, okay, like I said earlier in this episode, that's gonna help those actors and whoever not be like these struggling,
Yeah.
starving artists,
Right.
whatever. But like, is that really the lane that like, yes, sure, it's an untapped market, but like, what are we saying then? Yeah, I mean, like, is this something that we want to push and because we already noticed and a lot of us feel like it's an issue, like some of this stuff, like some all this content and girls getting famous just for doing whatever, like
Hmm.
we have a like morally I think a lot of people do have a take issue with it, because what I mean, people are parents, I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna be raising kids, some of us are gonna have daughters.
Yeah.
I don't want, if I do ever have a daughter, like I definitely don't want her making money off her body like
Yeah.
that. Not I mean, you can make money off your body if you're an athlete, you know what I mean? But like you
Yeah.
can't, I mean, like off your physical, but I don't want my daughter being into anything
Yeah.
explicit. I mean,
It gets fuzzy, and it's a yeah. I think there's probably going to be a shift. I think this is a very generational type of thing.
yes.
Obviously, the porn industry has been around forever,
Yep.
but I think the access to it that's now easier than ever. I'm hoping that'll fade so that future generations don't necessarily need that career path or necessarily that kind of, not motivation, but
The thing is, the career path can stay there, but there has to be some shame tied to it, because that's
yeah.
that's what would stop people before. Right now, we live in a shameless era. Right now,
Oh, yeah.
we live in a very shameless era. You know what I mean? Like women ask strangers for money every day. Be
Yeah.
like, oh, cash at me.
Yeah.
You would
For
never
what?
do that before.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Right.
cheating. Like
Right.
in a lot of relationships, that would be cheating. If
Yeah.
some dude, like, granted, like, because simping, pimping,
Yeah.
cucking, right?
Yeah.
But if some dude was just like randomly sending your wife like bread every day, like that's not benefiting you for real, but
Yeah.
just trying to get her attention, you would feel some type of way. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Like,
Yeah. Like,
you're
what are you
not
doing
doing
for
any,
him? Are
you're
you
not
not
yeah,
doing
you're not
anything?
doing nothing for this
Yeah.
money.
Okay.
No, he's just nice. He just likes to send me, for my nails, and you would be tight, like, bitch, like, whoa, 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 like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
slow that on down. I got it. Yeah, I mean, I could
Right.
take care of this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's a which I'm surprised that that's not the path. We were expecting Nate to go down that path. But I think once you surpass the whole just a guy paying for your girl's nails every month situation and get to, oh, she's sending me 35K on the wire. Well, okay. Am I really gonna complain all that much?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, that's financial freedom for the average person. So at the
Yes.
end of the day, it's a catch 22. And then just to close this thing up, man, we get the just another kind of Alamo loves playing with Rue's head, and it's
Oh my
a
God.
she gets taken from the
Yo.
diner. Marshawn Lynch and Bishop are like, "Yo, dig a hole." She's like, "Okay, how
Have
big of a
have you ever
hole?"
have you ever dug a hole, bro? Like,
No,
I started thinking about
no.
that. I've never dug a
I
hole.
think I've attempted to probably the most here at the beach. At the beach,
Yes, yes,
we've
yes, yes, yes.
probably dug a decent sized hole, but
But
dirt,
like,
like
how
heavy dirt, no.
yeah. How long, because yeah, like how long does it take for you to be able to stand in the hole that you're digging out of? You know what I mean? Like how long? Because obviously it was daytime by the time she's buried, but I'm thinking like I felt like she made a lot of progress even in a little bit of time. I was like, damn, she can shovel, bro. Like, I mean,
The only kind of analytical data I would have for that is a very early 2000s episode of Viva La Bam on MTV, where he was
oh,
digging a hole from outside of his Don Vito's house to underneath his trailer, and he had like 4 or 5 dudes with him, and
yes,
it took them probably like 8 to 10 hours to
okay,
like dig a hole for them to like just crawl into. So let alone and they weren't standing up, they were
yeah,
just like on their belly digging like a circumference of a hole. That
yeah,
took them 8 to 10 hours. So her digging down that far, I can only imagine. Doesn't the Earth's core, like, doesn't it get harder? There's rocks, there's like it's denser down there. That they might have
yeah,
been there for a hot minute because
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking like Rue is not strong enough to do this. Like I just was like, all right,
Yeah.
that was the point. Like I'm like, and then she's
Especially
like,
with 3 grown black men with muscles standing right beside her, couldn't have picked up a shovel and helped that bitch. But no, we just got the scrawny little white girl with the one shovel. I mean, wow, what an emotional scene. They
yeah,
buried her up, they put the dirt on her, and then the stable doors open and it's Alamo coming in on his polo horse with the
yeah,
polo stick, just running
yeah.
straight for Rue,
My man was
assumingly
just swinging that joint. I
just
said, "Oh
swinging.
shit, he about to play polo with her head,
And
bro."
here's a fun fact. Man's never ridden a horse before, much as I'm assuming if you don't, probably you haven't, or maybe
Well actually I've
okay.
ridden a pony. I've been on a
A
pony. I've never
pony.
been like
Like
galloping. I never
yeah.
galloped on a horse.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
trotted.
So
I
you've
mean,
never right. So you okay.
hell
Yeah.
no, that's
Okay.
crazy. Like,
Okay.
have
I've
you?
been yes, I've been around horses my whole life. I've
Oh,
ridden
for real?
them, stable, cleaned them. Yes, I've done all that. And then that was kind of preteen years, and then into the teenager years. Dad and Alicia had donkeys on the farm, so we didn't ride them like horses, but taking care of them, and it's pretty much the same thing.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so they took 4 days to film that because Adewale never ridden a horse before in his life, terrified of horses,
I
as
bet.
probably the average black man is. And
Hell
it's
yeah.
it's just one of
Shit,
the
Christopher Reeve went paralyzed falling off a horse, my dude. Like that
right.
Superman went paralyzed falling off
Mm-hmm.
a horse. So like
Mm-hmm.
I ain't mess with that. I'm not just jumping on a horse.
Yeah, no, it took him 4 days. So I mean, that was an
Damn.
intense scene to film. So I mean, when this happened, it cut to black. Did you think this was the end of Rue, or are we all kind of oblivious to the fact that she'll be in next week's episode?
She's gonna be in next week's
Yeah.
episode, but it is like, cause yeah, there's no way you're surviving that. Like, yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, like you can't just get whacked by a polo mallet. I
Hmm.
mean,
Yeah.
polo stick
Yeah.
straight to the head, full
Yeah.
force from a gallop. Yeah, I mean, she's probably going 50, he's probably going like 40, 50 miles an hour. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like it
Hmm.
just, yeah, like no,
Yeah.
they like her head would literally like come off of her body. I mean,
Probably. Probably.
so no, it's just one of his scare tactics.
Hmm.
But like it's a weird scare tactic because y'all gonna have to dig her. Like if she's not
Right.
dead,
Right. Right. Who's
y'all
gonna
gonna have
now
to
dig
dig her
her out of
out.
this hole? Yeah. And then for
Go
what?
get my man Marshawn all dirty, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah. He also behind the scenes was funny too. He was like, "Yo, we had to kick dirt in Zendaya's face," and he was like, "Are you good with this, B? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't want to do this to you." And she's like, "No, but just do it." And so, yeah,
yeah,
he
she's a
said,
trooper. Yeah, and it was like, you know what? I kept trying to like look at scenes and try to tell like was Zendaya really here? Was Zendaya really here? And I was like,
she
every
was.
scene with Marshawn Lynch, I was like, she was there. He
Yeah,
was there with her. But
yeah,
like
yeah.
I was wondering like now that we learned that, like I'm
Hmm.
like wondering like, damn, was she really here? Was she
Yeah,
really here? Like
right, right, right. No, apparently, as she was underground, they built like a custom little box for
yeah,
her,
yeah.
and that was just again, I think, a multi-day scene, just to film and be hot now and quote buried up to your neck. They said there were 2 people in the hole with her,
Oh wow.
with like air conditioning and an
Oh, okay,
oxygen
yeah.
tank just in case, and yeah, so very all the stops obviously for Zendaya not to actually get hurt, but. Yeah, ending this episode, man, it puts her in a tough spot. So I mean, this basically means that Alamo knows she's the mole. He took her phone. So like, does that mean Bishop knows there's a wiretap
That's what I'm
kind of
saying.
situation?
That's what I'm
And
saying.
so how do we move forward from here? I think, if I'm not mistaken, based on what we've seen from the trailer, it might be a situation where this is where the very beginning of the season's plan comes into play, because we have to remember there's one safe left, and that's at the Nazis' house. And so,
Mm,
with our good friend Faye, all we got to do for Faye, as we've seen, in the season so far, is just bring up Fezco. Fezco, he would have done it, and then Faye's like, oh yeah,
mm,
let's go, let's do it. So it would
mm.
take Rue about 20 minutes of conviction, Faye about 3 minutes of fun time with her boyfriend down in the basement to get his keys, get him distracted, get him drunk, get him passed out, and boop, get all the money out of his safe from Lori's house, and both of them book it, or at least Rue. And we may or may not see something like that, I think, in next week's episode. But again, it's the same question we have at the every end of every
Yeah,
episode that
yep.
we've done for this
Like
season so
where we
far.
yep,
Where are we going? What's happened next? We see Nate getting beat up again,
yep.
and just kind of more of the same stuff. So overall, I think so far this is my favorite episode. I think as far as rankings go, I think someone said it might have been the lowest ranked of the season,
That's
but
crazy.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was
Yeah, I
great.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for
Yeah.
sure. My last thought though was
Yeah.
and it was something that as I was watching the show, you know, and Moses like, dang, yo, this girl is just getting exploited by everybody. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So like,
As in
yeah,
reference to who? Cassie?
Cassie,
Okay.
Cassie,
Yeah.
and and I was thinking like, yeah, because Maddie is definitely exploiting her. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? She
Hmm.
trying to get every dime out of her. She got her husband, who she still cares about. You know what I mean? Which
Clearly. Yeah.
I would think that she would be over it because yeah, they show us in the very beginning and the recap. It's like you see that where she says the fairy tale's over. Like they
Yeah.
remind us that.
Yeah.
And so you're thinking it's weird, but like she still has, but he's exploiting her too because he's trying to feed her ideas of like how she could make more
Right.
money. But then she's the one who wanted to do it in the first place,
Yeah.
whatever. So like how much is she being exploited versus how much is this her own doing? And I just think like I guess when you get into this type of like industry and this kind of
Hmm.
world,
Hmm.
that's those lines start to blur. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, yes, as much as they talk about women in the adult industry, how much ST is happening. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? A lot of these women are doing that stuff like pretty willingly as well. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, and I mean, especially because I think she's still too very, very fresh. And
yeah,
so now that she's dabbing her toes into podcasts, and now she's on LA Nights, which means she's gonna need a manager, she's gonna need a publicist, she's gonna need a PR person, she's gonna need this. And so once that check comes in, babe, everyone's got their hands in on it, and then you've got like 10 grand left. And that was your $100,000 deal. So
yeah,
what's
yeah,
the move? What's the next one? It's that industry. And I mean I think that I think the show's doing a good job kind of not exposing it, but just bringing in the common folk who might not know anything about it, of, oh, this is actually what goes down.
yep,
So
yep.
all right, fam, let's wrap this up. Euphoria season 3, episode 5. We've got 3 left after this. And the only bit of news that we got this week was just that HBO will be breaking records with the season finale.
Oh,
It's going to be 93 minutes long, an hour and
hey,
33 minutes just to wrap this
wow,
whole thing up.
giving us an
So
episode and a half almost. Like, I mean,
yeah, it's
so
it's a
okay,
movie. It's a movie.
okay.
So buckle up. We got 3 weeks left. And so far, pretty decent, pretty average, pretty good season thus far with our characters. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Recap and Record. My name's Levi. That's Los. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, like button, hype button, follow button, repost button, share it to your stories, share it to your feed, and whatever else I didn't mention, make sure you do it, because I know you're aimlessly scrolling on TikTok anyways. It's
Yes.
Recap and Record. You can find us on Instagram and all the other socials linked down below. Los, as always, my friend, a pleasure in conversating with you this week. Until next time, I'll see you next week, fam.
All right, bro. Peace out, bro.